Welcome to Happy Painting. I'm Carol. There's my buddy Squirt. He's back again. Oh, the little troublemaker. He's back. I've got a 16 by 20 canvas. We're going to do a nice little seascape. I've got liquid white on it. It's very wet. I added a little color, yellow ochre and alizarin. Pushed it around a little so I could get a head start because we got some detail in this picture. Now that I got that color in the sky, which is very pretty, we're just going to drop a little down here. And we're going to have that shimmer on the beach too. Kind of a sunset shimmer. I love to make sunsets because you get to use color, right? Get to use some color. Let's get some blue in the sky. I'll use the same brush I put the liquid white on with. He wants a cookie already. That's all we hear. Squirt, I have some peanuts. Do you think you'd like a peanut? Huh? I got a paper towel in my hand and I wipe my brush. I wipe a lot of that blue off. We call it bad blue in the studio. Whoops, excuse me, Squirt. Oh, I almost sprayed you, didn't I? Oh, poor baby. I'm going to add some blue up in the sky. And I'm going to add some blue down below. Woo, that's a lot. See what happens if you don't wipe it off good? Huh. That's okay. Doesn't scare me. I don't scare easy. Now you want a peanut. Oh boy. You sure know how to beg. Gee, look, we got a head start. That's our waterline already. I'm doing good. I got some lavender mixed up. I'm going to put some lavender in this picture. It's phthalo blue and alizarin crimson together. And the lavender is going to go up in the sky and in the water. So I'll just put it there. We'll come back and make it nice after. I like to just get it there first off. Overlap your colors, that's just fine. Just don't get any blue in your yellow and you'll be okay. So, I hope you've been painting at home, having a good time. I have enjoyed my letters, yes. And now I'm getting letters and I like that. And I write back to everybody. Oh yes, we do. This is painting 79, so if you want to write to me and ask me something about this painting, remember to tell me it's 79, so I'll remember what we're talking about. Okay, I've got some color in the sky. I'm going to put a little more dark lavender in there. Take my chances. Oh, there's a runaway hare. We'll ignore that. Excuse me, Squirt. Okay. A little more dark lavender down here. Ooh, 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 that's pretty scary. Listen, before I stop and try to make things look good, I want to put a little more color in the water. I have phthalo blue and dark sienna. Makes sort of a green happen. I'm going to throw a little of that in there. When I get down to the beach, I want a little brown, so I'll just run the brush through a little Van Dyke brown and put that there too. Ah. Yes. Okay. Now, you know, the water is the easiest thing. We'll just take a 2-inch brush and we'll flatten it out. And we'll try not to bother our bird. Yes. Yes. The seascapes are very popular at the studio. Everybody wants to know how to paint a seascape. Yeah, so all Squirt wants is a cookie. But everybody wants to know how to paint a seascape. After all, we do live in New England, right? So you can learn. It's a learnable thing. A learnable thing. Okay, what was it? A peanut or a cookie? Oh, it was a peanut, wasn't it? Okay. You're a good guy. You can have one. I've got a clean, dry brush, and I'm just going to tap this color together. So I get kind of a streaky... a happy little streaky sunset sky. I do wipe the brush a lot with my paper towel as I go. I'm always taking off a little paint as I go. And I'm thinking my sky might have happy little streaks in it. That's the easiest. Sometimes they streak sideways and sometimes they streak horizontal. It's all up to you how you want your sky to do. And I like that blue up there, see? I like that. We'll leave that there. Now, yes, let me tap some of these guys in. Oh, yeah, sunset skies are the easiest and the most fun. You could get the base color in and then come back and do lots of clouds if you choose. But I'll just tap this in a happy little streaks in our sunset sky. Ooh, that was a big one. And there's a little one. Little ones and big ones. Right, Squirt? Okay, somebody stop him. Phew! Boy, it's hard to get me to stop, that's for sure. Hard to get me to stop. Yeah, visiting the seashore is one of our favorite things to do. I've even taken my horses down during the off season and ride the beach. But we only live 10 minutes from there, and so we always go down the beach for a nice walk. Wait till the evening when all the tourists have left. And then the natives come out. Right, Squirt? When all the swamp Yankees come out and to enjoy the beach. You just ate a peanut, and you're not going to get another one for a while. Yes. Boy, knows how to beg. This is my blender brush. I'm just tapping the canvas lightly. I'm picking off excess paint, and I'm blending at the same time. It gets rid of all those little brush strokes that we really didn't want in there. Unless, of course, you want them. Then you get to keep them. Okay, how's that look? Well, that's a nice sunset sky, and that couldn't have been any easier. So I know you can do it. Well, I'm thinking this is my little ocean here. I have a little ocean, and I'm thinking maybe I have a little land too. Who knows? Let's come in with, I'm going to come in with a little lavender. And with the lavender, I'm going to make the top edge of my land. Bada beep, bada bum, bada boom, bada boom. You gotta make those noises, right, Squirt? Bada beep, bada bum, bada bum, bada beep, bada bop, 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 bop. And now I want to move the color down from the edge a little. Pay no attention to that pollution that's bothering you, because it'll all be okay in the end. Just move the color down from the edge a little. And back here it'd be even darker. Darker, darker, darker. Okay, well that was easy. I did that with a little filbert brush. Let's tap out the bottom. Clean, dry brush. Tap straight in. I really tap hard. Shake the whole canvas. So if you don't have a sturdy easel, you better hold on to it with one hand and tap hard with the other, and that makes mist. That makes the color mix with the liquid white and all the colors under it. Very, very, very nice effect. Very nice. This is a stretched canvas. I always buy good canvas, 16 by 20. I'd be happy if you didn't use canvas board. You know, it doesn't spring well, it doesn't behave well, and besides, before you know it, your beautiful picture will be all moldy and out of shape. So, buy stretch canvas. You'll be happier. Your paintings will last longer. And it's the right thing to do. Okay, there's another little piece of land. And I'll tap that out too. Better get a drier brush. I don't want to break the top edge. The top edge is done. All I want to do is tap out the bottom. Make mist. Get that effect going for me. That happy misty effect. And water's always flat, so we'll just flatten it out under there, just in case we don't come back. Now I'm going to look at the water and say, well, what do we need to do with the water? First, we're going to put a little far away waves in. I'll use my knife. And I'll use maybe some of this phthalo blue and white mixture. Now flatten the paint out on my palette, use my knife, get a nice little roll of paint, and I come up here. Let's not fight over. Let's not fight over this side of the canvas now. You can't have my knife. I'll tell you what. You can have your rotten old brush that you already destroyed. And I'm going to scrape in random. Just scrape in little random lines. And that represents to me, I don't know about you, the little faraway wave action. Okay? Little random lines. And then we're going to push them and flatten them out. Water's always flat. Let's get the water lines flat. Good. You get your water to lay flat. Half your battle is won in a seascape. Half the battle. And after you get real good at seascapes, you can start to make a moving water. It doesn't always have to be flat. But for now while you're learning, think flat thoughts. I'm just going to put in a little, this is a wave. It's a little, there it goes. It's a little secondary wave. It's not the most important guy on the block. It's just medium important. I drag in a line with my filbert brush, push all my paint with a dry fan brush to the right, to the right, to the right. These are just the mechanics of a simple seascape. Because first you gotta learn the simple stuff, and then you can get oh so creative. Now I think there's a bigger wave. So I'll go for lavender again, but I want darker lavender. And I want my bigger wave to have kind of it's going to be crashing, so I guess it has a little lump to it. Okay. But besides that little lump, it's kind of trails off pretty straight. So now that I put the wave line in, I might want to bring the color down from the edge a little. And before I establish the angle, I might say to myself, well, you know, every wave has a shadow under it. I call it the gully. This is the gully. Got a name for everything. Okay. So, there's the gully. And as long as I'm doing that, you know, I always like to put in a little bit extra color while I'm over there. I don't have to come back later. Okay, all done. Now, let me go for my fan brush and establish the angle of this wave, which is to the right, 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 to the right. Oh, yes. We drive everybody crazy, don't we, Squirt? Yes. So, drag that paint to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right. That's the way the crasher's coming. To the right, 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 to the right. Oh, very good. And you get that angle. You see it's starting to crash, but it flattens out again. That's what I want it to do. And these little, and this color on the side just becomes flat too. See, Squirt, see? I have to make those noises. So I've got a little wave and I've got it flat. I'm going to throw some rocks in there. I just have to decide when I'm going to throw them in. Oh, maybe now's a good time, huh? A knife will do the job just fine. Well, if we put one rock back here, maybe it's not our darkest rock. So, let's lighten up the brown just a little. We'll save our darkest rock for up front. I could just smash the paint in till I get the edge the way I want it to be. And then I'll come in and scrape off the excess paint if it's bothering me. I don't think it's going to bother me too much. Bottom of the rock could be a little darker. And it could come here. We definitely got to put some foam around this guy. I just tap out the bottom. Oh, this also gives me a head start on foam. Alright, let's come back to our wave. The wave, every wave has an eye. You know, there's an eye to the wave, and it's right here. Let's see. Right about there, under the top of the wave. So I usually just take my finger, some titanium white, a little bit of yellow, and I just kind of smash it in there. Yes, my most expensive tool, Squirt. Easy to clean. Easiest thing I got to clean. Alright. And now that I've done that, I have to do this angle thing again. To the right, 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 to the right. Okay. So I put a little light spot in there and I reestablished the angle. And now I'm thinking about putting in the dump. That's the part of the wave that folds over the front. I usually pick up titanium white for that. Maybe put a speck of alizarin in it. That would be nice. And go for the dump. Excuse me, Squirt. Getting ready. What do you got? Oh, you got the brush I gave you, huh? Typical parent. I forgot what I gave him to play with. Okay, so the angle, the dump of the wave comes over, but you notice it angles the other direction. We're curving to the left now instead of the right. Just when you get the rules straight, they change the rules. Right, Squirt? Yeah, can't help it. Okay. So I angled that to the left. Now around that dump is the foam. And the foam always has a shadow side and a light side. The shadow side could be the lavender. And I'm just going to put it in with the filbert brush. Okay, that's the shadow side of the foam. And you know, I know there's going to be a crashing stuff happening here, so I'm just going to put in a little lavender and get a head start on that. I'll just smash it in there. Don't worry, it'll be there when I want it. Now I want to put some white on top of that little foam piece. So the trick is to get it to come off the brush. I'll add a little liquid white to it. That'll help. Titanium white and liquid white. We'll get some white around that top edge of that foam. Well, it's almost coming off the brush. Excuse me, Squirt. Oh, yes. Squirt's Squirt's a pretty smart little thing, you know. I think he's about as smart as a 3-year-old. Only it's like having a 3-year-old that never grows up. Honest to goodness. So I got a little white around the top. I would take my small fan brush to make it look a little splashy here. Just push up with the fan brush. Up, 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 up. And wipe off the pollution, go for some more white, and we could put some uppies here too. Okay. Put some uppies there too. Right at that foam, the middle of that foam, there's shadow on the bottom and there's white on the top. So I'd come to the middle and I would want to tap the dark and the light in together so it starts to look like a cloud. You know, it's always the same process, so to speak. These are the little tricks to get the effect you want. You have to sneak in there. Sneak in there. Sneak in there. Okay. Then I would take my knife and I could put a little white cap rolling across the top of those waves. I do it with liquid white. And I would do it. Look out for your bird. Yes. Right there. I might do it a little on this one. So it looks like the waves are just starting to lap over, really want to crash, but they're not. Oops, there's a big one now. That just means it's a big wave, that's all. Happy accident, Squirt, that's all. Okay, I don't worry about accidents. They always work for me in the end. So, you know, why worry about them ahead of time. I'm going to get a little white on the knife, and I'm going to think about this little water action pot that happens on the beach right here. You know, so you can put it in with a liner brush, but I very often scrape it in with a knife and then smooth it out. And it just gives me just what I want. Just a little bit of something. To the right, to the right, to the right. And then flat. Do, do, do. To the right and flat. I should stay out of the center of that wave. I'll be in trouble. Right here. If I get in there, I'll be in trouble. Okay, I'll stay out of there. I might have another wave just lapping on the beach, which means I have to put in a little more color. A little more color. Flatten it out on the back. To the left, to the left, to the left. And really flatten it out. And then use my knife and do that little waterline trick that we do. Oh, Squirt's taking a nap now. Oh, and it just looks like one more little wave lapping in. The one you like to go play in. This would be the one I'd be playing in. Because I always get wet. I should take off my shoes before I even go on the beach. Because I'm going to get wet. Yes. I should get ready ahead of time. You know, if we take our little fan brush and some of that titanium white we were pushing around, we could add little foamies in front too. Forgot them. And then I would take white with a little phthalo blue. To make the foamies right here, see? They could be a little blue. And then I tap them in. And maybe flatten them out. Alright. So, I kind of think what this picture needs, now that we're down to the beach, is a little more rock. And I've got a lot of Van Dyke Brown just waiting for me here. So I'm just going to smash that in. I'm not scared. There's only one difference between the students and me. They're scared to death and nothing scares me. Nah, that don't scare me. The more you paint, the less you're going to be afraid of your paints and tools. So you just got to get in there and do it. You know, it's like riding a bike. You know, remember how messy that was when you first started. Okay, got my rocks in there. I want to camouflage them. I don't want them to look quite that rocky. I'll tap them with a mop brush. That's going to take away my knife lines. You'll never know how I did it. Okay, no one knows now. And I might use that knife to run a highlight across the top of them. A highlight would be some white and brown, or whatever is left on your palette. Maybe. Oh, that looks like a little water running down. That's cute. It's got a little blue in it. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll do that again. If it works, do it again. Sight Squirt. Okay. Now, I see these rocks on the beach, and I see if they're on the beach, they might have a reflection. The reflection's in the sand, but the sand is wet, so it's throwing off a reflection, just the way we do in our little ponds and things. So there's our reflection on the beach. So now all we need is some more of these happy water lines. Maybe put a little bit of phthalo blue in there. I make my water lines with liquid white. This is an oil-based paint. Clean our brushes with odorless terpenoid. Take very good care of your brushes. They will not last. So my husband takes very good care of my brushes. So my brushes are doing good. Because if they depended on me to take care of them, I think we'd be in deep trouble. Yeah. So, a little waterline under there. You know, I don't wash brushes until I'm done painting. So I have about 2 of every size going. Because once you wet it with thinner, you really don't want to bring it back up to the canvas again. That's not a good thing. So, I try to avoid that. You don't want to bring a wet brush up to your canvas. A brush that's wet with thinner. Bad things will happen. So we could put a few more of these little guys on the beach now. Oh, that's nice. Oops. Could be flat. Think flat thoughts now. You know, all these things are always flat, like a carpenter's level. Flat, flat, flat. I come down the stairs a little, but I'm still working on flat. Okay, that's looking good. We threw that together pretty fast. Now, if we can throw that together this fast, I know you can do it. And you can do it, and you'll have a wonderful time, too. So write me a note. Look up my webpage, painteasy.com. Send me email. I'm waiting. So happy painting now. Bye-bye.